step number 14, installing the lower machined links, done. Complete this for all 4 lower machined links, done. This is the 30 millimeter countersunk screw that we did with the large link in the last video. And now I'm looking at the top where I actually, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 on other sides. Remember when I was talking about those fix screws having the receiving hole on the outside? This is where it became super important. This is part of the cantilever suspension system. Some people don't know what a cantilever is, and it'll become very clear soon. But that receiving hole goes into a grommet, and this screw and the other brass grommet go in such like that. Just kind of tighten this up. Very low torque setting. 1, 2, 3, 4 small shocks on the inside of the frame chassis. Medic, what are you doing? I've had people write in saying, hey, listen, I've watched since the beginning, the unboxing video. Why are you using the small shocks when there's big shocks that go with this? And secondly, how the heck are you putting them on the inside of the chassis? They don't understand. And that's cool because I've been learning as I'm going as well. I know what a cantilever suspension is, but one like this is really cool to set up for the first time. Number 1, the small shocks actually go on the inside because it's a rocker point. See that? Pretty neat, hey? And secondly, here, I'll just kind of back this up. If you have a look and we kind of quarter this up, right? I know it's a quarter scale, but if we take it and we cut it into 4 figurative pieces where we're looking at 25%, 50%, 75, and 100, all you have to do is learn how to build 25% of a rig like this. For folks that are nervous about doing a rig, really it's either just the front and just the back that, you know, they're very close in building, or things like this where they're just identical all the way around. The large shock is going to be going on the outside, I'm assuming in the lower suspension link here. I haven't looked that far ahead because I like discovering as I go. But yeah, that's what a cantilever is for, just kind of like that. It's going to be a pretty neat suspension. So I got to start on the large axles. They are billet aluminum. Everything is billet aluminum, of course. Very, very strong and forged at the factory, pressed hard before it's all cut. So let's go ahead and bring these out. They are monsters, the large axles. Look at this, a huge billet aluminum, CNC machined, aluminum all the way around, and it's massive. This is like, what do I have that's like sitting around? Look at this Traxxas battery. Here is a 7-cell battery from Axle Tip, right here, flip it around. 2 and at least a few more. Amazing. Few cells more, I mean, check it out. It's quite heavy. Everything came pre-assembled already, so this is saving me a lot of work. I'll probably want to go in and check inside here for some Loctite, of course, but I won't do that right away. Somebody also said that they use nail polish for Loctite, which I thought was also a brilliant idea, depending on the color you get, or what you already had. Or some clear. Anyway, so here, I know we're gonna have to remove the back plate so we can attach the motors. I do have some Kershaw design motors on the way, the big 800 series, but I'm gonna use these 700 series motors that I have just to see what's available straight out of the gate. So, might as well put it together and have fun with the pieces that I have. Let's do it. Here is the motor mounting plate. There are 2 of them, of course, 1 for each axle, and I'm using the M4 8 mils. Though I'm working on the axle right now, I can set it off to the side. Here is the 750 Krawler brushed motor that I'm using. It's quite large. Like I said, I do have another one on the way, but I thought I'd give this one a try because I knew we could do the build in time for the great festive season that we're enjoying right now. Okay, so the RC 4-wheel drive, Krawler motor, 16 turn brushed. Nice, that'll have a little bit of oomph to it. All right, step number 15 has to do with the motor mount being attached to the motor. The one I'm using right now is an RC four-wheel drive crawler motor, the 16-turn 750 series, I believe. 750 crawler brushed motor. Yes, so I've already used the two M4 screws to mount up this CNC machined piece to the motor. Next, it's calling for the pinion to be attached, and I noticed the pinion comes in the bag called gear, which quite literally that is what it is. And since I don't know inside, I'm gonna have to pull this back plate off to mount up the motor. I'm not going to use any Loctite on that pinion yet. I'm just going to let it be flippity flop until we know for sure what's on the inside. Next step is the axle assembly for the suspension link hangers. So I'll get on that. Looks like I'm going to need the M4 14 mil screws. No problem. Here and here. Let's find the pieces. Servo mount. Nope, that's not it. Those are them. They're going to fit something like this. Do I have that the right way? I do, I believe, but this one might be over here. Correct. Like that. Okay, so this is why I need the 14 mils. Okay, going through the, what I call square tops, 16, 14, yeah, 14, M14, sweet, M4, 14s. It says I need 4 per axle. Okay, how large is the fitting? So just hand tight for me at this time, just to make sure everything fits well together. Remember, with these kind of threads, you shouldn't have to force anything. If it's machined well, those screws should just go into place. Remember, if you're forcing a screw into machined aluminum, then you could be stripping it out and ruining it forever. So be very, very careful. Get the other side here. Same rules apply. There we go. It's a nice fit. Number 16 is for the axle servo differential lock mount installation. Nice. It should fit in something like this. Okay, M4 12 mil countersunk. 1, 2. Right, step number 19, motor installation. Opening the gearbox before completing this step, or open, I guess. It says opening. Install the cover with the motor installed is step number 20. Okay. Take it apart slowly here. Nice, all the gears. All the teeth are where they're supposed to be, it looks like. That's always a good sign. And all the bearings are seated properly. Look at that. Neat. Okay, so mounting up the motor. So I line up the hole there and then adjust it at the top. I guess it's time to go in and use Loctite on this pinion now. I'm going to use some red Loctite on the motor mount screws just because I know I won't be back in here until I get those upgraded motors. You see right down the center and just starting to thread. I'm going to start lining up the inside here. Perfect. Ah, 21 is the link mount. That makes sense. So how does it mount up itself? Right on the front like this. Oh, nice. There's inset holes right here for them to fit in. Is that the right bit? Do I have the right one? I do. And then the 14 mils, I need 3 of them on the front. Now we're going to put the axle skid plate up and over, but I'm going to need to be using 12 mil spacers, and I saw these spacers earlier on. They're these. These feel like aluminum as well, actually. 1, 2, how many? Just 2? 2 for now, 1 on either side for the screws. Drop it in with the spacer. Sorry, my hand's in the way. Straight into the hanger mount. Very nice. What a beautiful looking piece of art. Wow. Quarter scale crawler getting cooler by the day. Now, you guys get to watch a little bit of footage of me and my kid doing some RCing. He's 2 years old, and I'm gonna put together the whole other axle. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not gonna ride on it. It's too small. It's too small. Use the remote, that's right. Yeah, buddy. The successor to RC Adventures, the new generation. How's your fingers? You want Dad to warm up your hands? To the Superman jump. He loves that thing. Okay, I'll carry it for you. It's not fast enough to go over the jump. There you go. Yeah, buddy, almost. Ah! Okay, so 2 complete quarter scale axles. Looking pretty awesome, and they are super heavy. Well, I don't want to say super heavy. I guess it's all relative to the person, but for an RC, when I go to lift this thing up, I'm going to need a crane. Okay, so here we go. These 2 right here, I'm going to have to flip them over, give them a couple of supports underneath, like so. And there you have it. 2 huge skid plates. They're like monsters. What an amazing piece of machinery. Okay guys, so the next up is the servo arm assembly. I'm gonna tackle that in the next video. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's a long build, but these things need to be relished, right? I take my time. I enjoy building it along with you guys watching. So guys, if you wanna catch more, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting the show, and we'll see you in the next episode of RC Adventures. Now get outside and have some fun with RC. Bye.